Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. It is a privilege for me to be here with all of you today and in this location for the first time. Association of Bihar School of Yoga and Ghantali Mitra Mandal is spanning 5 decades, 6 decades. And the founders of Ghantali Mitra Mandal, like the picture here of Sahastra Buddheji and Vyavhariji, they were in close contact with my Guru Swami Satyanandaji since 1956. So the association actually starts from that time. And it was Swami Satyanandaji who inspired Sahastra Buddheji and Vyavhariji to take up the path of yoga, to help the human society at large. And these two, with full faith, commitment, devotion and dedication, took up the challenge to bring yoga to human society, not in the classical manner, but using the classical background as a very practical and scientific manner. And in this manner, Ghantali Mitra Mandal was formed 60 years ago. And today this year we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of Ghantali Mitra Mandal. There are different activities being conducted here. And the major activity has been yoga for many, many decades. And if you see the history of the Ghantali Mitra Mandal, the yogic teaching imparted by the teachers has made it a very respectable institute throughout Maharashtra and wherever these teachers have gone. There are many institutes of yoga in India, but all these institutes of yoga focus their awareness, their attention on physical exercises and developments. I'm not criticizing anyone, but if you look at the modus operandi of different yoga organizations, you will find that there is more emphasis on the performance of posture rather than the experience of yoga. If there is performance of posture, then that can also be done in the gym. Bring yoga to gym and there you do the physical exercises along with your bicycle and weightlifting and other things. But if you want to understand and explore and experience yoga, then our concept, our awareness of life has to change. This year is an important one because a shift has to take place in the understanding of yoga. For 60 years you have experimented with yogasanas and its effect on the body, for the management of various illnesses, diseases, sicknesses, for improvement of behavior and mind, to help us face the traumatic conditions of our life in a more dignified manner. And in this manner, yoga has been brought to the society by Ghantali Mitra Mandal, which is a very unique service to community. But yoga is not restricted to the practice of asanas only. And yoga is not limited to the understanding and awareness of the physical body only. From yogic perspective, and especially if you study Gheranda Samhita, then a different concept of body is seen. Because in Gheranda Samhita, Sage Gheran speaks of this body as Ghat. And Ghat means container. So what is contained in this body, that has to be realized. And what is contained in this body? The modern science has created or trying to understand the relationship of the senses with mind, with brain, with emotions, with spirit, and to explore and understand what is life. But here we are looking at very fragmented picture of life. From the yogic point of view, in this body of ours, this ghat of ours, I don't know if you have seen the Russian doll, the wooden doll which you open up, inside is another doll, you open that, inside is another one, you open that, and in this manner there are 5 dolls in that, from the biggest to the smallest, not 6, not 7, 5. And yogis say that that represents our body. Not because yogis favor Russia, not because they want the Russian dolls to be sold, but it is an image, an impression of what is happening inside. Within this body of matter is the subtle body of prana. Within that subtle body of prana is the subtle body of mind. Within that subtle body of mind is the subtle body of consciousness. Within that subtle body of consciousness is the more subtle body of spirit. So, these 5 different levels of experience that we have in our life in natural course, yogis have seen that as complete picture. And things that happen in these different koshas, bodies. So our body is like pyaj, onion. You remove one layer, you see another layer. You remove that layer, stuck to that is the 3rd layer. You remove that layer, stuck to that is the 4th layer. We are not potatoes. We are onions. Human beings are 5-layered onions. And if somebody says you are a couch potato, don't believe that. Because you are not a potato. So in this 5-layered body lies the entire spectrum of experience from material to spiritual. from material to spiritual. And yoga works at all these different levels. Many times people think of yoga as a miraculous subject. If I do yoga, I can overcome my problem, my difficulty, my illness, my disease. And that is what they have been given to understand that too. I had asked my Guru Swami Satyaranji once that can yoga help manage different type of illnesses? He said, yes, but there is one condition. You have to live the yogic lifestyle if you want to help yourself. And if you live the yogic disciplines 100%, then even the most complex of the illnesses can be managed. But problem arises that people don't live 100% the principles of yoga which will allow you to remove that illness. And you are aware of that. In fact, you yourself, many times, if you feel better, okay, I don't need to do this now. I'm much better. So you don't continue, you don't sustain. You are just looking at the symptom, I'm feeling better, and that's it. So you stop doing your practice. And when you stop doing your practice, the disease has developed immunity to your practice. It comes back with double force. You know, you speak of developing, like mosquitoes developing immunity to anti-mosquito sprays and everything. Well, it happens to you too. It happens with yoga too. Because you come up to a certain point of therapy. You feel better at this level. You are not healed. Healing, you can claim to be healed at this level. But you are beginning to feel better from this level, and each time you will keep on ascending, improving, till you are completely healed. So from this bottom level, when you come to this level and you say, oh, I'm feeling better, I think I'm cured, then you stop doing your practice. And the negative response of the body is that, okay, the practice has stopped, the previous condition will come back in a much stronger manner, so that the practices which you did before will become less effective. And this I have seen. Maybe scientifically it can't be proven, but psychological effect is there. Psychologically, the effect is there. So you have to sustain it. And in order to sustain, you have to be clear as to what you want to achieve in life. So if you are able to follow 100% the disciplines of yoga and sustain that system, the practice, then yes, even the most asadhya rog can be managed. But if you don't follow the system, then even the most simplest one will keep recurring again and again and again, because you are not going till the end of your course. When you take antibiotics, you don't stop halfway, do you? Because doctors tell you, if you stop halfway because you are feeling better, your condition will get worse. You have to complete the course. Despite you having felt better on the second day, you still have to carry on for another 5 days. You have to apply the same thought, the same principle to yoga as well, if you want to have the maximum benefit. But once you have achieved that level of health, then that is the first level. You have overcome an imbalance of the body, an illness of the body. But you haven't established the condition of health in your body. You haven't established the condition of health. You have overcome a disease, but health is not stable. So, second work now has to happen to stabilize our immunity, our stamina, our strength, and to ensure that I am aware of the symptoms, so if they begin to reoccur, I can again take the necessary steps to counter that. But this is only happening at the level of Annamaya Kosha. What about the Pranamaya Kosha? What about the Manomaya Kosha? There is one illness for which there is no cure. Cancer has a cure. HIV positive has a cure. Many other diseases have their cures. But there is one which has no cure, incurable. And that is known as DIFS. You know what that DIFS disease is? Disease-induced fear syndrome. Disease-induced fear. You get a pimple in your hand, you start thinking, oh my God, I hope this is not cancer. 20 years ago, if you had pimple, ignore it. It's just heat of the body, it will go away. But today, the same pimple creates fear in you. I hope it is not too serious. I hope it is not cancer. I hope it is not this. I hope it is not that. And the feeling of fear weakens your physical immunity and your strength which can fight off against the disease, which can fight the disease. So, from where is this fear coming? Fear is not physical. It is not being generated by any organ of the body. You are working with the body with fear in the mind. So you are treating your one aspect but not the other aspect. So your healing is only half. It's not 100%. And not only the mind, but prana is also weakened. Your pranas become weak. And the pranas become weak because of the physical condition and mental condition both. So you are actually affected at these three levels in a time of disease, illness, problem. Even anxiety will affect the pranic dimension. It will reduce the pranic balance. It will reduce the mental balance. And it will reduce the physical immunity. When you are under pressure and you can't sleep at night, that pressure is mental, sure, but it is affecting your physical nervous system too. It is affecting your pranic system too. And you just keep tossing and turning and you are unable to relax and sleep. And that creates even more anxiety and stress over a period of time that I can't sleep, I have to do so much tomorrow. So you have to look at your body not only as the padartha body, the body of matter, the body of anna, but also as the material body in working in union, in harmony with your pranic body and mental body. So any yoga practice that you do must combine three things. Asana for the material body, pranayam for the pranic body, and relaxation for the mental body. These three things must happen together. I'll give you one example. In the decade of the 70s and 80s and 90s, for 3 decades, a lot of work was happening in relation to the therapeutic benefits of yoga. And this investigation and researches were being done across the world. And they are also being applied. So, at that time, the Cancer Foundation of Australia selected 6 patients of cancer in 3rd stage. And they asked us, can yoga help these 6 people or not? We said, well, we can try. We are not claiming that it will help, it will cure. But if conditions are created for healing to happen, then there is a great possibility of regression of cancer. And we started teaching them. You know what we taught them? Pavan Muktasana. You have done that, right? Hands, fingers, feet, rotations. So with this, the circulation of blood improved throughout the whole physical system. And along with blood, the nadis also, if there were blocks there, they opened up and prana flowed freely. So there was blood flow at physical level and vital flow at the pranic level. So that was removing all the toxins from the afflicted part, providing it with oxygen. Pranayam was the next. To improve the pranic system, to increase the vitality, to increase the stamina, to increase immunity. Third was Yoga Nidra, so that they can release their tension, anxiety, stress of what is happening to my body. And fourth practice which we gave them was Ajpa Jap. Soham mantra with breath. And that gave them inner strength, inner confidence. And they could develop a very strong willpower. Right now, our mind is very distracted and fragmented. So in the distracted and fragmented mind, you can't have willpower. And therefore, if you look at people today, and if you analyze them today, you will discover that very few people today have the willpower. Other people think about it, then they retreat. Then they think about it, then they retreat. Then they think about it and retreat. Indecision is there, but clarity is not there. And when clarity comes, when the fragmentation dissolves and the mind is unified, then willpower is the nature of a unified mind. And distraction is the nature of the dissipated mind. So, Ajpa gave them that confidence, gave them that support, gave them that awareness of the fear, the insecurity, the distraction, the dissipation which they were confronting, and the worry and the anxiety which had taken over their life. And with these four things, Pawan Muktasan, Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, Yoga Nidra and Ajpa Jap practice, a miraculous change was seen in these patients. They began to improve. They began to become healthier. And those people who were supposed to die in 6 months' time to 1 year's time lived well beyond the age of their own doctors. Doctors died due to old age. And patients survived because now they were feeling vibrant and vital. And after this, yoga became part of the support group of the cancer patients in Australia and New Zealand. So that is one example which I am giving, that here what was taught to them was not only asana, but asana for their body to improve the circulation and the functionings and the performance of the body. Pranayam to increase the level of vitality and immunity, self-healing capacity. Relaxation to eliminate the anxiety and the fear and the insecurity. And meditation for that inner strength and confidence that yes, I can overcome this problem. And it brought a miraculous change to their condition. So, Annamaya, Pranamaya and Manomaya koshas, all three were brought together. And this much is necessary for everyone in society who just is wanting a healthy body and a healthy mind. And this is our requirement. And I always say, self-realization is not our requirement. It's not a public requirement. It can be your or my choice. I don't know if it is my requirement or not. Because right now it feels like a choice. Yes, I want it. You may listen to me and say, yes, I also want it. But that is only an attraction to an idea. It is not a need. And even if you want it, you can't have it. This is one thing which is not available in shops. No mall has self-realization as a package. No spiritual mall, where it is run by Swami Shivananda or Swami Satyananda or Sri Sri Ravi Shankar or Swami Ramdev or anybody for that matter. Nobody can give you that experience. in order to have that experience, there has to be disconnection from those things which limit that experience. And what are the things that limit the experience? The world. So to have that level of realization, you have to leave the world. Simple as that. And you are not willing to do that. And I am not willing to come there. So you have your limitation, I have my limitation. I can't explain to you and you can't convince me that that is your requirement. I'm just saying in a light manner, but it is true. Our requirement, and this is what visionaries do. They look ahead to the need of human society. They look ahead to the need of the human civilization. They look at the needs of the human individual and family. And they then take a decision that for the evolution of society or humanity at large, this path can be applied for this situation today. Throughout history, different paths have come up. Different gurus, different siddhas, different yogis, different philosophers, different exponents at different times have chosen a path. For many years, people only used to practice Hatha Yoga. Nobody knew what Raj Yoga was, nobody knew what Kriya Yoga was, nobody knew what Kundalini Yoga was. They only knew one thing. During the time of Matsyendranath, Gorakhnath and all these people, only Hatha Yoga was popular. Nobody knew what was Raj Yoga. Because at that time, the need was of Hatha Yoga. The physical Sanyam, the Sanyam of senses and Indriyas. And through Hatha Yoga also experience the states of meditation and Samadhi. So if you could go up to Samadhi in Hatha Yoga, what was the need of other yogas? No need. So in the classical literatures of Hatha Yoga, you start from the basic asanas, sure. But the theory ends in Samadhi, not in asana. The theory ends in Samadhi, not in asana or pranayama. So to say that only Patanjali Yoga Darshan speaks of Samadhi is incorrect. Every yoga speaks of Samadhi, even Bhakti Yoga speaks of Samadhi. And that is the Bhav Samadhi. Hatha Yoga speaks of many different types of Samadhis. Raj Yoga speaks of different type of Samadhi. So if you say, I want Samadhi, which Samadhi do you want? Do you want the Hatha Yoga Samadhi? Do you want the Bhakti Yoga Samadhi? Do you want the Raj Yoga Samadhi? Which Samadhi do you want? Right? Many types of bhujiyas are there. Which brand do you want? Many types of bhujiyas are there. Which brand do you like? So depending on which brand you like, that's what you eat. So if you like the Raj Yoga brand, then go that way. If you like the Hatha Yoga brand, go that way. But according to times, different yogas emerged. And the Matsyendranath, Gorakhnath were the groups who developed the subject of Hatha Yoga, who taught the principles and the benefits of Hatha Yoga. Sage Gheranda taught Hatha Yoga, and that was it. Then times changed. At that time when the Nathas lived, There was no mental tension or anxiety or depression or frustration. Only thing that used to happen was wars between the kingdoms, which the Sainiks, the soldiers, and the kings used to fight. And we used to stay home happily, doing our anushthan, doing our duty, doing our kartavya, doing our dharma. And then suddenly we would realize one day that now another ruler has taken over our kingdom. So okay, no problem, we'll adjust with that. So there was no mental anxiety as such. But then different forms of mental behaviors started to manifest. Sometimes anger, sometimes hatred, sometimes jealousy, sometimes greed, sometimes envy, sometimes attachment, attraction. All this calm, krodh, lobh, moh, etc. They are mental behaviors. And they started to manifest. So questioning began. From where is all this coming? From that peaceful me, how did I suddenly become the angry me? From that peaceful me, who was engaged in looking after the life and to live a proper, balanced, healthy and pious life, where did this anger and frustration come? From where did this anger, jealousy and hatred come? And then you look at the other sadhus of the time, says Durvasa, who is supposed to be the highest sage and son of Brahma, who is supposed to be at the pinnacle of his sadhana, austerity. Why can't he control his anger? Why does he keep cursing everybody? I mean, that is what a normal person would ask, right? If you are a sadhu, why are you behaving like that? This is a normal question. So from where did these things come? And how do they control the human behavior? Like if you are frustrated, then that is controlling your responses, thoughts, expressions. If you are angry, that is controlling you. If you are afraid, that is controlling you. So how does these invisible things control human behavior and responses? That was the next question. And people started to look at other people around them. How are you reacting? How are you behaving? How is he reacting to this situation? And even today, if there is one problem, all of you will have different individualistic solutions to that. There won't be two common solutions. Each one will be an individual solution. And you will say, this is the right one. You will not analyze the other ones. You will believe in what you have said. So, system of Raj Yoga came about. And Raj Yoga system was not a creation of sage Patanjali. No. Raj Yoga system was the creation, believe it or not, of sage Shukracharya. And you know who Shukracharya was? He was the guru of the Asuras, Daityas, Danavas. And to him goes the credit of Raj Yoga, not Patanjali. Patanjali came much later. And why did Shukracharya start Raj Yoga? Is a question. Why did Shukracharya start with Raj Yoga? And that was further taken up by the other sages of the time, or who came later. And Another important personality in Raj Yoga is sage Yajnavalkya. Because you have to remember that they have followed the Vedic tradition. And the Vedic tradition and belief about spiritual realization and awareness has been very constant. That you can achieve that experience by going through this path. And yoga has evolved from that. And Shukracharya ji and other sages like Yajnavalkya developed the subject of Raja Yoga. Now, these sages, they were the discoverers of the tamasic behavior, rajasic behavior, and the sattvic behavior. Says Shukracharya was guru of the demons, Danavas. And what was the main function of the Danavas? Terrorist activities. किसी को रुला देना, किसी को मार देना, किसी का छीन लेना, किसी को थप्पड़ लगा देना, किसी के सुखी को छीन लेना. So they were happy doing that. And that represented a very detrimental, deteriorated, negative, tamasic condition of mind. Shukracharya became the Daitya Guru to wean them away from that mentality and to make them come to the sattvic mentality. How successful he was or not, we don't know. Because Daityas did oppose him. They said, no, we don't want to become good. We are happy as we are. We want you to help us win the war. But we don't want to change. That was their choice. But intention of Shukracharya was to convert the tamasic mind into sattvic mind. To change the nature of the Danavas into at least a better nature where they could adjust in human society and live with cooperation. And Shukracharya, when he developed the subject of Raj Yoga, it was with the intention to make them observe themselves and to change the negative into positive. And therefore Raj Yoga came into existence. And Sage Patanjali much later refined Raj Yoga for human conditions, not for Daitya conditions. For human conditions. Because there is a difference in writing of the sutras, pre-Patanjali and post-Patanjali. Ideas are different, values are different. Just to give you an understanding, pre-Patanjali Raj Yoga does not speak of drashta. It does not say or talk about chitta vritti. Whereas the opening statements of Patanjali are chitta vritti and drashta, which in the original Raj Yoga does not exist. So, Sage Patanjali refined the original Raj Yoga to make it accessible to other communities who are facing different type of situations, conditions and problems. And the focus was not on physical. The focus was on improving the understanding and the mental expressions and experiences to become more balanced, harmonious, pure, positive, pious, and sattvic. So, Raj Yoga emerged from there. And therefore, its focus has always been mind, vrittis of the mind, moods of the mind, modifications of the mind. And that has been the subject of Raj Yoga. And then further yogas also developed because it adopted to the lifestyle of the community and their cultural belief, their social belief, their religious belief. So, in yoga, there are two aspects which I mentioned this morning also. The practice, what we do as a physical asana, as a physical participation, and the expression, which is not physical, but is more mental. So vidhi is the physical component, how to do it. Vidhi is the do-yourself kit, whereas vyavahar is expressing the better aspect of yourself, putting forward the better part of yourself, not the stinky part, but the better part of yourself. And these two cover the Annamaya Kosha and the Manomaya Kosha. But these both have a technique which comes to the middle to cover the Pranamaya Kosha. And that is the practice of pranayam, mudras, bandhas from Hatha Yoga side and Prana Vidya from the Raj Yoga side. Pranik Pratyahar from the Raj Yoga side. So, pranayama, mudras and bandhas came from Hatha Yoga to improve the pranic body. And Prana Sanchar, Prana Vidya, Prana Nidra, Pranothan, they came from the Raj Yoga side to enhance the capacities of this body. And in this way, the Hatha Yoga and Raj Yoga, they both cover the three dimensions, the first three dimensions of human life experience: body, vitality, and mind. Swami Shivananji and also others in the past have said that for society to be successful, for individuals to be successful, for society to be peaceful and for individuals to be peaceful, for society to be happy and for individuals to be happy, for society to be healthy and for individuals to be healthy. These three things have to be covered by the two branches of yoga. And then you can live a happy life, successful life, healthy life. And in that you will be expressing your creativity, fulfilling your needs, doing all the necessary things to live a better life for yourself. So this is one group. Second group is now, from this first group, some selected ones come forward and say we want to explore more. who am I? But not as a question, who am I? No. To look within as to what makes me function. Because I've only looked at my body and mind and pranas. But what about the dimension of the spirit? So for this, select few who are identified as sadhaks, there are people who said there are higher sadhanas of yoga, such as Kriya Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Laya Yoga, Nada Yoga, Mantra Yoga, so many other yogas, which take you closer to your inner self by inducing balance, purity, luminosity, taking you deep inside yourself to the source where you can experience your real nature. And in this manner, very advanced yogis who live in seclusion and retirement like Mahavatar Babaji, who came forward with techniques of Kriya Yoga. And who came forward with techniques of Kundalini Yoga, Nada Yoga, Laya Yoga, Mantra Yoga, and so many other yogas that exist. And Babaji is just to name one person, but there's a whole group of people. But I'm just giving you an indication that people like him were the people, like Rishis were the people to bring out Raj Yoga. Humans were the people to bring out Hatha Yoga. Humans. The Nath Sampradaya, Masindranath, Gorakhnath, this Nath, that Nath, your Nath, my Nath. They all did that. And Avatari Purush, the Siddhas, they developed the spiritual dimension of yoga. So this became the whole subject of exploration of life and experiencing the divine, the transcendental nature of life. And it became part of our social culture during the Vedic times, when everybody used to live one type of yoga or the other. And even today, this holds true, that what you need while you are living in Mumbai is balance of Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh and Manomaya Kosh. But if you leave Mumbai and go to live in the mountains for a few years, then you can move into Vijnanamaya Kosh and Anandamaya Kosh. And that won't be possible in Mumbai. No. That much I can give you in writing. Too many distractions, too many good things to enjoy. And just as Bengalis can't live without their fish and rice, Mumbaiites can't live without their pav bhaji and roti. So even in Samadhi, they will be dreaming of pav bhaji. So it won't work. So there are two paths of yoga. One, while you can practice while you are engaging yourself in society, and another when you are recluse from society. So while you are in society, you deal with the three. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. And when you leave the society, for whatever time necessary, it can be months, it can be years, it can be days, till you achieve what you want to achieve, then you can follow without distraction, because some disconnection has to happen. You are one plug, but there are two sockets on the wall. You are plugging yourself to the pravritti socket. So in the pravritti socket, where you need the light, three are good enough: body, mind and prana. But when you have to plug yourself to the other socket, nivritti socket, you have to remove your plug. You can't have one here and one here. No, it won't work. And that is what you try to do. While living with all your problems and difficulties and life and children and husband and wife, you want to be like me. And that is not going to happen. It's not possible. You have to unplug yourself somewhere, somehow, someday, sometime, and plug yourself to the other socket, which becomes the nivritti socket. And in this nivritti socket, the current is still the same. The same electrical current is flowing. But this time, your work and your effort is not body, mind, prana, but consciousness and spirit. And for this reason, since ancient times, this is not me speaking, this is what people have experienced and said in the past. And for this reason, since ancient times, this is not me speaking, this is what people have experienced and said in the past. You live your grihastha life up to one point. But after the grihastha life, when you have fulfilled all your obligations and duties, you move to the another stage of life. Vanaprastha life, reflection, so that you can see the mistakes of your past and aspirations for your future. And you can correct yourself and move forward. And gradually move into sannyasa path, which is a life of detachment. Not to don this dress. I'm not asking you to join the club. But I'm just indicating you that the sannyasa path is to adhere to the life of dharma and correctness. And if you want to follow the life of dharma and correctness, most welcome. No harm in that. So, our ancestors have already given that option. अगर संसार में ही जी करके मरना है तो मरो, आपकी इच्छा है. और अगर आत्मज्ञान में डूब करके मरना है तो वो भी संभव है, वो भी अपनी इच्छा है. अब संसार में रह करके आत्मज्ञान में डूबना चाहें वो संभव नहीं होता है, जो आप सब चाहते हो वो संभव नहीं होगा. क्योंकि हर एक चीज की एक सीमा होती है, लिमिटेशन होता है, हर एक चीज की एक लक्ष्मण रेखा होती है, मर्यादा होती है. And you can't break that maryada of life. So, here, where training is given to society at large, the focus is on attainment of health, happiness, and harmony. Health, which is physical and psychological both. Happiness, which is physical, psychological, personal, and social both. Harmony within me, in my family, everywhere, in all places. So health, happiness and harmony is the focus of centers which exist in cities. And for that you can develop many different type of programs. Health management programs, stress management programs, all the difficulties that people in society face, challenges that people in society face. Yes, programs can be developed so that we can learn to face them with ease and dignity. And then when you want to pursue your spiritual path, since time immemorial, people have gone in isolation to ashrams and mathas or tirthas. In the past, people used to go for tirtha. Today you can look at the nearest airport to land, but in the past people used to just depend on number 11. Number 11, the 2 feet to walk. And in such secluded places, they would remain with their teacher, with their guru, or in isolation, performing their sadhana, their austerity, till they received an experience. And after which they would again come back and tell people of their experience, to inspire people to explore that dimension as well. तो सेकंड पार्ट के लिए आश्रम में जाकर के वातावरण को बदल करके, परिवेश को बदल करके, परेशानियां के कारणों को बदल करके, क्योंकि परेशानी आश्रम में भी होती है क्यों नहीं? लोग सोचते हैं हम आश्रम जाएंगे 8 घंटा ध्यान करेंगे तो आपकी सेवा कौन करेगा? मठाधीश, सन्यासी? ना ना ना, हम लोग उसके लिए, आपकी सेवा के लिए सन्यास नहीं लिए कि आप वहाँ 8 घंटा ध्यान करें और हम आपका कमरा साफ करें। ना ना ना। और बहुत लोगों की यही अपेक्षा होती है, आशा होती है कि मैं आश्रम जाऊंगा, रिट्रीट में जाऊंगा तो 8 घंटा ध्यान करूंगा, तो इतना योग करूंगा, तो इतना ये करूंगा। आश्रम में भी बहुत लोग लिखते हैं कि हम आना चाहते हैं, सीधा जवाब आता है सॉरी, फाइंड सम अदर प्लेस। If you want to live according to our system, you come. We are not going to live according to your system and choice. नौकर की खोज है, नौकर खोज जो तुम्हारा कमरा साफ करे और जंगल में जा करके अपना 8 घंटा ध्यान करो, अपना खाने की व्यवस्था करो। साधुओं के सिर पर काहे सवार होते हो? So that's a fact of life. So please understand this, that there has to be a differentiation between your spiritual aspirations and what you wish to achieve in your material life. And I always say, find time. At least 2 weeks every year, when you can get away from your home environment to an ashram, and there focus on your own spiritual development. And spiritual development will happen when you are able to awaken the awareness of spirituality in you. Somebody had once asked Sri Swamiji, my Guruji, what is the purpose of life? He said the purpose of life for everyone is to develop spiritual awareness. So they asked him, what is spiritual awareness? He said, awareness of everything. Awareness of everything. And that is a big statement. Because until you are not aware of things, how can you improve on that? So awareness is the first thing in the life of a sadhak. And when things come into your field of awareness, like when you enter the room, you look at the room, right? If I'm outside the room, I'm not aware of what is inside. But when I come in and I see everything, then I know that people are there, pillars are there, doors are there, windows are there, seat is there, carpet is there. I get this whole picture. So in the same manner, awareness should give you the complete picture, and also the ability to change. If you don't like your chair here, I want to put it there, I should be able to put my chair there, closer to light, to window, to air. And that process of shifting, after having developed awareness, is the progression of yoga. It is known as self-adjustment or self-correction. Before you become comfortable. Before you become comfortable. So once I shift this bed from here to over there, then there I'll be comfortable. So self-awareness and self-transformation. Without the self-awareness, transformation is not possible. And this is what you have to look for in an ashram environment. This is what ashram environment provides you with. At home, you can be aware, but you won't want to correct yourself. You can observe things, you can notice things, but you will not want to change things. In ashram, you have no choice. You have to change things. So, take this time to understand the two dimensions of yoga. And for your spiritual awareness, come to ashram. And for your health and peace, come to a good yoga center like Ghantali or Bihar School of Yoga. So I hope I have given you some things to think about. A banana is a banana, it can't become another fruit. Apple is an apple, it can't become another fruit. Lemon is lemon, it can't become orange. So we have to recognize the nature and the quality of each one, appreciate that and utilize that. So as Grihastha, you have a nature which can be appreciated and you can improve on that. And as sadhu, I have a nature which can be appreciated and I can improve on that. It's not necessary that you become me and I become you. If I have to become you, then I have to change everything to become you. And if you have to become me, then you have to change everything. I mean, in both, renunciation has to take place. Leaving something behind has to take place. Disconnecting from one socket and connecting to another socket has to happen. So these are the two dimensions of yoga. Right now, let us excel and come to the point of perfection in the first dimension of yoga, which is health, happiness and harmony. Hari Om Tat Sat. And I am very happy to be present here on this occasion of the Diamond Jubilee of Ghantali Mitra Mandal, and wish everybody all the best, all success, all happiness, all growth, all progress in times to come.